another episode of The Live. We are coming to you guys from our nursery here at Verdant Lyfe, and I love the nursery here. We've got all of the carnivorous babies up in here. I'm going to give you guys a little view so you guys can kind of see what's going on. Over here I've got my Cape Sundews, I've got my Alatas over here. Up in the sky, we also got some other little stuff happening right there. And if you guys like plants, especially carnivorous plants, then you guys are definitely following the right account. Make sure you guys like, follow, and subscribe. Here, I've got this really amazing sticky trap. Now, this is the Cape Drosera Sundew, and it is known for its sticky trap mechanism. When you look at this close up, you really see some very beautiful details. The traps, they have these very tiny little sensors on them. I know you might not be able to see them too well at the minute, but these are very sticky and they lure in their prey with their color and with the way that they smell. So it's not something that I can detect, but the insects, they can detect those smells. And the insects, they're gonna come on and land on one of the leaves or the traps. And over time, the tendril of the trap is gonna start to kind of curl up, and then it's going to digest the insect. So that could be a mosquito, it could be a little gnat, a fruit fly, it could be a house fly, a bunch of stuff gets caught on this. But this is such a great plant. And I know she doesn't look like much now because she's a baby. She's in her 2-inch little nursery planter. But these get to be very big and gorgeous. And they actually bloom a very delicate, gorgeous purple little flower that I think you guys will absolutely love and appreciate. Guys, please make sure that you like, and every time you guys share this live, it does push it to the For You page, which we're always very thankful when you do that. So please and thank you. Help us to share that. And again, this is the Cape Drosera. This is available at our website, verdantlyfe.com, and we do spell it Lyfe. Hi, Keith. How are you today? Hope everything's going well for you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. So here in the greenhouse, as you can see, I've got a lot of different plants that are growing. And it would be almost impossible for me to miss everything independently on my own. So here in the nursery, we have actually come up with a really great way to make sure that our plants stay nice and hydrated. And I think this is a really helpful tip, especially if you might think of going away for the holiday season. But if you look here, I've got my plants submerged in water here. And the reason why is because I want to make sure that my sphagnum moss stays nice and hydrated. So if you might be going away for the holiday season and you're worried about leaving your carnivorous plants alone for a couple days, maybe you don't have somebody to water them properly, you can always submerge your plants in a little watering tray or a dish. So I think it's a really great tip, especially because I know a lot of people do go away during the holiday season, okay? And that goes for all the carnivorous plants. So we have butterwort, we have the bug bats, we have the Cape Sundews, the pink sundews. We've got a lot of great things. So if you have any carnivorous plants at home and you want to make sure that they are hydrated, if you might be going away, make sure that you use a little tray like we have here, and your plant will be A-OK. Now here, I got this very beautiful Nepenthes Miranda pitcher plant. She has a very unique design and shape. She's got these very pretty red, almost like freckle-like patterns, I would say. And this is something that is very attractive to an insect. Insects love the color red. For an insect, the color red is something important. It means that rotting flesh is close by, and insects, they want to get all up in that. Here we have some brand new growth happening. Right here, got some more little babies coming out. Now, if you're brand new to the carnivorous world and you're trying to explore an option that is going to be resilient and something that's a little easier, I recommend any of our Nepenthes pitcher plants. The Nepenthes is just, it does really well and it easily propagates. So if you're that person and you want to have more plants over time, the Nepenthes is going to be one of your favorite carnivorous plants. So over here, this particular one that I'm going to show you, this is the Nepenthes sanguinea. She's dominantly green, and as you can see here, this has not even opened up yet, and it already has that little fluid, which actually is the digestive enzyme of this plant. Okay. Hi, Wendy, Keith, how are you? Hi, a beautiful day. You need to grow a real plant. This is a real plant, friend, and it's actually an exotic carnivorous plant, also known as the Nepenthes sanguinea. And it does eat insects, and there's a lot of great plants out there. As Beautiful Day is mentioning a plant in the comments. I won't mention that plant because I don't want to get flagged here on the live, but plants have a lot of benefits, especially this plant that I have right here. It does actively eat insects. As Beautiful Day is saying, he smokes his plants. You know, that's okay. I high five to that. Plants have a lot of benefits. Some people, like myself, we have exotic carnivorous plants, and these plants offer benefits. Yeah, they photosynthesize, but they offer an all-organic pest control, which is very, very nice. And I want to show you guys what the Nepenthes sanguinea will look like when it has a few more months on her. So this is what she will look like. This plant right here is about 6, maybe 7 months old. And as you guys can see here, we got a lot of wonderful growth here. And she's starting to develop some very nice red hues. So in her nursery state, she's very, very green with a slight bit of color coming through. And this is what she's gonna look like when she's getting bigger. And there's a lot of growth, a lot of new pitchers are coming forth. And I really love this plant because I think it's so easy to take care of. If you're able to mist your plant, then you're going to be able to take good care of your plant. So I recommend the Nepenthes sanguinea for you. It's an awesome plant. And hi, Harlow Ivy. How are you, sweetheart? Thank you for coming. 90 Super Playboy is what it says. Hi, Sir Khan. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Hope everyone's having a phenomenal day. Now here, we've got the little bug bat. Now I'm going to show you guys another bug bat. So this one's about 2 months old. This one's a little bit taller. This was like an extra month older than this one. But she's starting to get taller. She's starting to really develop, and she's getting brand new growth too. But you can really see the difference based on how many months old your carnivorous plant is. Now here I have a very popular red Venus flytrap. These sell out very, very quickly here at Verdant Lyfe. These are really awesome plants, and they're very easy to also care for. Now I do want to let you know that the Venus flytrap does go through a dormant period, especially if you live in colder places. Maybe you guys live in New York or New Jersey, somewhere up north. So this plant, especially the Venus flytrap, it will go through a dormant phase, and you'll notice that the traps will grow closer to the ground versus upright. So that's kind of like your clue right there that your plant's not dead, that it's dormant. Thank you so much for liking the live. by the way. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Khan. I appreciate you. You guys are so awesome. Now, we are going to be doing a live Q&A. So if you have any questions about plants or carnivorous plants, go ahead and put those questions there for me. And if you want to go ahead and put what state you're actively tuning in from as well, I would love to give you guys a shout out. And thank you guys so much for being here. It's very much appreciated. We are currently growing our YouTube channel and we're pretty new to going live on this platform. So thank you for your graciousness in advance, by the way. Now here in my hand, I have another species of Nepenthes. The one that we saw earlier, the green one, was the Nepenthes sanguinea, which looks like this. Okay, just so that you guys have that in mind. This is the green one, the Nepenthes sanguinea. And this is the cousin. This is the Nepenthes alata. Look at these delicate little pictures. Now this is known for its sliding trap mechanism, okay? It's kind of like a slip and slide. When an insect comes here to the rim of the pitcher, it's very slippery, and they slip and they fall into the trap. So it's kind of like a slip and slide, literally. And the insects, they actually try to swim and crawl out, but they can't. So they end up kind of like drowning in the digestive enzyme. Kind of crazy if you think about it. But over time, over like the next 5 to 12 days, the plant will digest that insect and it will convert it into nutrients for the plant. And you'll notice brand new growth as well. So it's pretty awesome. Again, this is the Nepenthes alata, and this is available on our website, verdantlyfe.com. Now, if you would like to see what this plant looks like a little bigger, we're going to take a look right here. Look at these pictures that we have right here. And I put this next to it so we can see the size difference. This one in my hand is in a 3-inch little planter. It's got drainage holes, and when I know it needs a repot, I'll see the roots starting to grow out from the bottom. And here I have this in a moss cone, which is a really fun way to display your Nepenthes plants because they are naturally cascading. So that effect is something that they're going to really like. Well, hello from Turkey, Istanbul. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in to our live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you guys have any carnivorous plants in Istanbul? If you do, let me know. I'm curious to know. I have never been to that part of the world, but I bet you guys have a lot of beautiful plants there too. This is another Nepenthes that I have here. I'm doing very well, Sir Khan. Thank you so much for asking, hun. Over here, I have another Nepenthes. This is my Nepenthes Gaia. And you actually could see there's a bug inside this one, you see? The Nepenthes Gaia. Beautiful plant. This is in my 6-inch moss planter, also available at verdantlyfe.com. I love these planters because, again, they allow the plant to cascade very beautifully. This is also another 6-inch. Okay? It just keeps everything really nice. Now over here, I've got a little arrangement. We've got the Cape Drosera Sundew, which is my sticky trap that you see right there. I also do have the Venosa Red, which is the Purpurea, the Sarracenia. Very beautiful plant also. The Venosa is also a great starter plant for many of you. So if you're kind of debating what's a good plant for you to start taking care of, and you want something that's going to be resilient, something that's going to be tolerant to colder climates maybe because, you know, winter is coming. So I would recommend for you the Venosa Red. It's a very beautiful plant. It does very, very well. And this plant can actually, believe it or not, it can tolerate up to 42 degrees Fahrenheit of cold weather, which is pretty amazing for the plants. And remember that during the cold season, your carnivorous plants are going to go through a dormant period. So that means that they're going to go to sleep. That means they're going to hibernate. So you might notice that it's not growing like it was in the spring. That's okay. Let it run its course. Continue to water your plant like you normally would, and make sure that when the spring comes again, that you check on your plant. And again, you got to regularly water your plant even though it's dormant in the wintertime. And you're going to see that your plant is going to bounce back when the time does permit. Now you see how over here I've got these traps and they kind of look like they're starting to die. So I'm going to just very gently remove that. Really easy to take that off. Okay, and that's going to promote some brand new growth for my carnivorous plant. Very easy. Now if you notice that when you gently pull, if it does not come out from the plant, then I would tell you to just use your scissors and cut for best results. Thank you so much, Sirkan. You're very kind. And again, this is the Purpurea, the Venosa Red, also a carnivorous plant. And for those of you at home who have furry friends, maybe you have a cat, a dog, a bird, something like that, these are actually plants that are pet friendly. So that means that they are not going to harm your pet. If your pet might nibble it, or if it might ingest some of the digestive enzyme that's on the inside, because there's fluid on the inside of these trumpets, these pitchers right here. Your cat, your dog is not going to be harmed. Okay, so these are 100% pet friendly, and it's an all organic pest solution. Now this specific moss ball that I have in my hand, this is a 4-inch. Okay, so it's a 4-inch. And it's such a beautiful display. I really love this. And the Venosa, you guys, it also flowers during the spring. So you're going to notice a very beautiful flower emerging during the springtime. So this is one of my top 3 carnivorous plants, especially for the winter season. Okay, Purpurea Venosa Red. All right. Now, next plant we're going to look at is going to be this one. Now, I'm sure everybody knows what this plant is called. It's a very popular plant. Most of you have seen this plant, especially if you have played Super Mario Brothers on Nintendo or Super Nintendo. So you guys remember the Venus flytrap? If Mario or Luigi lands on it, well, they die in the video game. Nothing's gonna die if it touches it, unless you are an insect. Okay, so Venus flytraps, they love insects. They like fungus gnats, they like fruit flies, gnats, they love mosquitoes, and flies, house flies, all that sort of thing. Okay, and look at those beautiful red colors. How pretty is that? And again, this is an all organic pest solution. So maybe you live somewhere and there's a lot of mosquitoes or a lot of fruit flies, or, you know, sometimes when we're cooking in the kitchen, you know, we get those little pesky things flying around. This is something nice for you to consider having in your home. Now, with a carnivorous plant, it needs about 6 hours of bright light. So in the greenhouse, you guys can probably see I have a lot of artificial lights in here, right? Because if you look up, I don't have natural sunlight coming in through the greenhouse. So I have to compensate, and I have to use my grow lights. This you can get almost anywhere. You can get them at Walmart, you can get them online, on Amazon. We specifically got these grow lights from Amazon, if any of you are wondering, and we do have them set to a timer. So when we're not here at nighttime, they don't need any light. So we have it on a special timer so that when we are not here, they can get all the necessary nutrients. Because remember, they're getting a lot of their energy from the sun, and to compensate for not getting nutrients from the soil, they are going to capture insects. And that is why these are carnivorous plants. Pretty amazing, huh? Pretty cool, right? Okay, next plant that we're gonna look at today. I love this plant and I hope you guys will love it too. This is a very unique plant. This is a pink sundew. So I know it doesn't justify on the YouTube live camera, but this has a lot of pink in it. And it also has some very pretty little pink flowers too. You guys can see that. You see these little swivels, these little curls. It just gives this plant, I think, so much unique personality. And this is a sticky trap, by the way. So the pink sundew, it's very similar to fly paper, right? So it's great at capturing mosquitoes, gnats, little pesky bugs that drive us crazy. The pink sundew is known for its sticky trap mechanism, and it's absolutely wonderful. You're gonna love it. So check out my pink sundew when you guys go to our website, verdantlyfe.com. Okay. And remember that over the course of the next 5 to 12 days, that's how long on average it takes for the carnivorous plant to fully digest the insect that it has consumed. And here you'll notice that at the bottom we've got our drainage holes. So you know it's time to do a repot when you see roots coming out of these drainage holes, okay? So just a nice little tip I like to give you guys. We're gonna look at some of our plants to see if anybody needs a potential repot. So let's do a little test here. This is okay. That's good. Let's check here. That's okay too. Want to see if we have something else. We might have done them already. That's okay if we did. No roots coming out of the bottom, which is good. It's very good. We'll check one. Okay, I'm actually glad I picked this one. So, I'm gonna let her drip a little bit. And again, I have my carnivorous plants submerged in distilled water. Now, look at this plant. You see how it's got this funky little stuff? These are weeds. I have to get rid of these. Otherwise, it's gonna stunt the growth of my Purpurea. So the way I do that, I wanna grab it and just pull. So I'm removing all of this. Taking all of this away. None of this is good for your plant. All of those were weeds. We want to get rid of that. Okay. Much better. Weeds. No bueno. No good for your plant. Get rid of that. If you see any brown, like here, get rid of it. Comes right off. Pruning your plants is very important. Your plants are going to thank you. They're going to do so much better. And just like we need to cut our hair and cut our nails and maintain our look, your plants need that bit of love too. Now actually I'm going to go ahead and just pull this one out because I feel like she's getting a little crowded there. This one, I think it needs to be divided. So we're going to carefully divide her. Okay. Being very careful. Okay. So I've just divided her, and now it looks like I got 2 plants. So this is why it's also important to check up on your carnivorous plants. Because when you don't check up on them, they might overcrowd one another. And the carnivorous plants actually start to compete with one another for sunlight. So I'm just going to carefully remove, right? Easy, easy peasy. I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm going to look at this other little piece that I got. I wonder if it could be further divided. Yep, I'm dividing it again. As you guys can see here, we've just divided it. Now, why is it important that I divide them? Because look, these little guys were not getting any sunlight because their brothers and sisters, these guys, were taking up all the room. So we've just separated them, and we're going to put them in their own little baby planter, and then you're going to see that they're going to really bounce back. So that's why this is very important, that you check up on your plants, that you look at them, you examine them, and you'll see this has a very healthy root system. And we've got these little itty bitty micro traps that we're gonna plant in a little nursery planter, sorry. And we're gonna handle that. Okay, let's further inspect this plant. So I'm gonna grab this part of the plant. I'm being very, very careful, by the way. Very gentle. Okay, so here this looks like one, right? But if I carefully separate, watch what happens. You gotta be very gentle when you do this. So I'm kind of just like finding the middle part here, and I'm gonna just gently try to pull. Now sometimes the traps can get intertwined with one another, so I'm just being extremely, extremely careful. Yep, I found where it is. Doop. Look at that. So now I'm gonna have more venosas. And funny enough, this looks like a bug bat, but it looks like a bug bat because it was squashed. It was squashed and it couldn't get the light or nutrients that it needed. And this one, I think we can obviously see that there's a lot of dead traps that we want to remove. So I'm just going to carefully eliminate this. Very carefully. Some people use tweezers, or some people put gloves. I don't do that. I'm not using gloves because, you know, dirt don't hurt. Dirt don't hurt. Removing all of this brown stuff. And when I remove this, the growth hormone of my carnivorous plant is going to be activated. Okay, we're doing pretty good here. I feel like I can further divide this more. I'm going to be careful. I don't want to kill it. Just want to be gentle. Grab it from the bulb and gently, very gently separate her. Oh. So we got another baby. And another. Look at that. How freaking cool is that, you guys? It's amazing. So just taking a moment to look at the carnivorous plant, we found that there's a lot of new growth in there. And I'm going to grab this one, which is the mother plant. And when I say the mother plant, I mean that this is where the babies originally came from this specific plant. Okay. So I'm going to examine her. Great root system here. She's got some dead traps here, so I got to remove that. I'm going to remove all these dead traps here. This is very easy, very relaxing for you to do. And trust me, when you guys do this, your plant is just going to thank you so very much. It really is, guys. Wow, there was a lot of rotting traps. This is why this is so very important, this step. Okay. Now that I've cleaned her, she's already looking way better, right? Okay. I've got my little planter here, I'm gonna go ahead and make a space for her here in the middle. I'm gonna place her right there. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Now this one, believe it or not, if we check next week, I bet you this is gonna give me more babies. Like, these plants are amazing. I recommend the Venosa Red, the Purpurea Sarracenia, because of its amazing reproductive situation here. And it will give you lots and lots of new babies. I'm gonna put her a little deeper in here. Make sure she's good. She looks good. She's secure now. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and put her back with her brothers and sisters. And I'm gonna get a little baby planter. Okay guys, so here at the nursery, I've got my little 2-inch little planter. It has drainage holes, which is very important. And I'm gonna go ahead and place that in here. So I've got 1, I've got 2. Oh my God, this one has a bug. This one literally has a bug on it. Oh. Oh my God. Got a little bug. I'm gonna put it in the Venosa. I mean, in the pitcher plant. Okay. Here's another little plant. Another for this one. Another. This is my baby. So it's like the littlest one. Actually, she's still got some brown stuff. Gotta get rid of that. Don't be afraid to prune. It needs it. As little and microscopic as that looks, it's gonna grow to be a really big, beautiful carnivorous plant if it has the right space, if it has the right water and the right light. I've got another for this one. I'm gonna place right here. And I've got another. So let's see what the situation was. So out of 1 plant, I got, let's count how many babies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. I had 6 babies, you guys. That's kind of crazy. So now we're gonna go to another section of the nursery. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so now that we've done that, we're gonna move and go to the repotting station. Let's go. I love the repotting station because this is where a lot of the magic happens. Okay, so this is the repotting station right here. So we have all of our supplies here in shop. You guys are local to the South Florida area, and if you come to Verdant Lyfe with any of your plant projects, we're happy to repot and prune and trim all of your plants if needed. So we do offer those services, by the way. If you're in Broward, if you're out of state, we still ship house plants, but you would have to bring the plant here if you need the plant to be rehabbed or something like that, okay? So, as I was showing you guys earlier, after I separated and pruned my Venosa, it actually gave me 6 babies. So I'm gonna have 6 brand new plants. So I'm gonna show you how I do that. And it's very important that at home, you guys have your sphagnum moss and it must be hydrated with distilled water. Rainwater is also perfectly acceptable, by the way. So I already have my sphagnum moss here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit right here. And we also do sell moss, so if you have a project at home that you want to do, you can purchase a brick of moss, and the moss will expand like 6 or 8 times its actual size, by the way. Okay, so I've placed my sphagnum moss in here very carefully. I want to make sure I place the roots right here. Now, because she's such a little itty bitty thing, I'm going to actually use a skewer to finalize and secure the rest of her, because I want to get into those tight crevices and make sure that she's secure where she needs to be. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got this little baby. 1 down, 5 more to go. We're doing great. And guys, I promise you that if you do this at home and you inspect your carnivorous plants, you're gonna notice how amazingly these plants procreate and that they do it rather quickly, especially during this time of year. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some sphagnum moss. Okay, got my little sphagnum moss right here. Got beautiful, healthy roots, by the way. I'll go ahead and gently place her in. And again, I'm using my little skewer as a tool for that extra support, because these are very small planters. Like, this is a 2-inch planter that you guys see here. So I want to be very careful not to compromise or squish the traps when I do this. And some of you will definitely need this tool because it just makes a big difference. All right. Now that I've secured her, I'm going to add a little extra, a little bit extra. Okay. And that is how we do a repot after separating our venosa. And as you guys saw, our venosa gave us 6 brand new babies. Pretty cool, huh? And one thing I love about propagation, especially when we're talking about plants, is just how easy it is. And if you guys are into sharing cuttings and trimmings, I'm telling you, you guys are gonna find this especially very rewarding. When you do something like this, it's very, very relaxing. When you are immersed in nature like this, it actually releases serotonin and endorphins. So they say that if you suffer from depression or anxiety, that it's a good idea to spend some time in the fresh, open air. And it's absolutely true. I also recommend that you spend time in your garden and talking to your plants. Look, that was so easy, right? Easy peasy. I'm going to show you guys with one more, okay? And again, remember, these all came from the mother plant. And that's what we call the plant that births all the other little plants. And these plants, too, will become mother plants at some point. And I love the carnivorous plants for that reason. The other day, I was doing a repotting project at home. My bug bats were getting very, very tall, and they were crowding the other little bug bats that were growing. So I had to separate her, and I had like 8 babies in that mix. I was like, oh my goodness, no wonder it was so crowded. And the plant, it bounced back, because when you notice that your plant is a little bit stagnant, pay attention, look close to the ball of the root. And if you see new growth coming out, it's time to separate her. And if you look, you'll be able to just grab the bulb of the plant and separate it. There we go, another little plant. So yeah, guys, this is something very easy for you to do. And remember, this is part of the upkeep especially when you do have carnivorous plants, because your carnivorous plants are going to grow, they are going to thrive, and they are going to multiply, by the way, if you take care of them. So that's why we're doing this, because I really want you guys to be confident when you do this independently at home, especially for those of you who might live out of state, you know?
Yeah, I know, it's not
Beautiful.
Gary. It's Carlos.
So, this is what I got so far. We're doing a really great job. You know what? I'll do another one just for the sake of it. Okay, we're going to grab some sphagnum. Remember, this is already pre-hydrated sphagnum moss that I have used with distilled water. Sir Khan, thank you so much for your comments. I appreciate you very much. You're very kind. I'm going to use my tool. Okay. And our UPS guy just came. Our UPS guy picks up the plants and he delivers them to you. And guys, remember that we do ship house plants nationwide to all 50 states. So if you're in Hawaii or Alaska, maybe you live in Wisconsin, maybe you're in New York, upstate, wherever you are, Carlos at the UPS or Gary at UPS, props to them because they are so dedicated and they just really get the job done. They really care about when it comes to delivering your plant. So we do have a 30-day guarantee that your plants will arrive in the same condition or better as they left the nursery that they came from. And remember, your carnivorous plants are from sunny South Florida. So I do recommend that when you get your carnivorous plant shipped to you, let it acclimate for 1 or 2 days, right? Once it has acclimated, then you may go ahead and place it in the desired location that you have. Now, depending on where you are, I recommend that you do a little bit of research. You want to look and see what conditions you have in your state. I'm in sunny South Florida, so it's super tropical here, 52 weeks out of the year. Maybe we have winter for like 3 days, if we're lucky, if we're fortunate. But for the most part, it's quite hot. But you might live in a place where it's very cold. So you need to know what conditions you have. And if you have very cold conditions, you can create your own little ecosystem. You can create that with grow lights. You can create that with a plant cabinet. There's a lot of ways that you can do that. Look at this. That's beautiful, right? I think this is beautiful. And again, this happened because we did what? We did some pruning today. We inspected our plant. We removed all of the dead traps, all the dead leaves. We even took away some weeds that were growing out of our venosa. And you guys are gonna see how these plants really just bounce back, and they're going to keep on giving us more plants. So I encourage you at home, if you're just starting this carnivorous plant journey, or you're curious, or you wanna learn more, go to verdantlyfe.com. Go to our carnivorous section. We have a beautiful blog also dedicated to carnivorous plants and several other plants as well. And we also have a very helpful PDF guide that you can download for free. You don't need a subscription. You don't need any of that. All you need is to press the download button and you'll have access to all of the information there on our website. All right, and again, that's verdantlyfe.com. And that's LYFE.com, verdantlyfe.com. And remember that our carnivorous plants are pet safe. They are pet friendly. So if you've got cats, dogs, birds at home, they're not going to be harmed if they happen to ingest something. Oh, we lost a little one. It happens, guys. Sometimes we lose them, but for the most part, we're doing very well here. Now remember, this is a venosa. And if you're not sure what the species of your carnivorous plant might be, some of you might get plants from elsewhere. I recommend a really helpful tool that I personally use, and it helps me, especially if I want to learn more about the plant or figure out what species it is, or maybe I need to know when to water it or what zone, you know. So I recommend Google Lens to help you, especially if you don't know the name of a plant. If you don't know about Google Lens, I strongly recommend it. It's going to be very helpful, especially if you don't know what kind of plant you might be dealing with. So just a little fun tip there for you. Okay, we're almost done here. Okay. We've done a very good thing today for our carnivorous plants. And remember, if you are going out of town, maybe you're going away for the holidays, you're going to go see family for Thanksgiving, leave your carnivorous plants submerged in water, just as I showed you earlier in the nursery. That way, when you come back from your little vacation, you're not going to have anxiety and you're not going to be upset because your plants are dead. They're going to be alive. So I recommend immersing them in the water. And remember, please only use distilled water. Please, please, please. Someone in the chat asked, is bottled water okay? Now, I'm gonna answer, and the answer, sad to say, bottled water is not good for the carnivorous plants, you guys. Believe it or not, because it's in plastic, there's a lot of harsh chemicals that do come out of those plastic bottles. And because these plants are itty bitty, I mean, just look how small they are. So any type of harsh chemical like chlorine, like fluoride that is found in tap water, it can actually really have a bad impact on your carnivorous plants. So please don't give them bottled water. Please do not give them tap water. Please distilled water or rainwater. If it's raining where you are, be that person, collect the rainwater. That's the best water for them. It really is, and it's free. So collect rainwater if and when you can. I have a little patio at home, and I actually have a glass bottle that I use, and I stick a funnel in the jar, and it collects all the rainwater. So when I come home, especially if it rained, I have some nice fresh rainwater for my carnivorous plants. And I remember when I first got into carnivorous plants, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna get distilled water from? This is gonna be so much work. And in the beginning, like, I realized, yeah, I do need that distilled water, because I noticed a difference if I didn't give them distilled water. Because like you, I was experimenting with bottled water or different types of water just because I was trying to take shortcuts. And I will tell you right now, don't take shortcuts. Use the distilled water, get the rainwater, and that way you won't have any casualties when it comes to your carnivorous plants. All right? The water is extremely important. And the light is also an important part of that equation. So if you can master those two things, the watering schedule and the light, whether that's you having artificial grow lights as we have in the nursery, or if you're gonna keep them outside, if you are gonna keep your plants outside, please try not to keep them in the full sun during the harsh hours of the day, which is usually like 12 noon to like 2:30 p.m. Okay, very important. Otherwise, it will burn the traps, okay? All right, look guys, we got these 6 little babies. We did great. And we did that all because we did some pruning and maintenance for our plants. And now we have more plants. And we're gonna check back next week and see how these little babies are doing. So I'm gonna put them in a special zone in my greenhouse to make sure nobody else purchases them or touches them, so we can monitor the growth together. But I think it's absolutely amazing that literally all of these plants just came out of my mother plant. So if you guys want to continue to learn more, you guys got to subscribe, you guys got to like, and you got to follow. Make sure that you guys follow and subscribe to us. And please sign up for our newsletter. Go to verdantlyfe.com, sign up for our newsletter and find out all the plant rant. We always have the promotions. We always have really fun blogs, great information, and lots of other little things that I think you are going to appreciate. So until next time, I'll see you guys Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to be doing a giveaway this Friday, so tune in. This is only if you reside in the United States. I know some of you are tuning in from Istanbul, Turkey, which I appreciate, but we're doing the giveaway for United States. We still do not yet ship internationally, but if and when we do, that might be something that we consider in the future. So thank you so much for your questions. Thank you for your participation and for your support in our YouTube Live. Make sure that you guys follow us on the other platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, Facebook, we're on Snapchat, we're on Twitter, and we're on Pinterest and LinkedIn. And I feel like we're somewhere else, but that escapes me at the moment. So I'll see you guys Friday at 1 o'clock. Like, follow, and subscribe.